Hi guys, my name is Alyssa, and for my visual performing arts lesson, I did an art lesson. I did it on the standard of expression, having the students feel and use emotion to use it within art, and yeah. So how I would start the lesson. This is a PowerPoint presentation. I would definitely put this on a whiteboard, or a projector, so all the students could see. It's a visual, so the students are learning about the artist, they're seeing the artist, they're seeing the paintings, and we would discuss it for the first probably 20 minutes about what expression is. So beginning the lesson, I would ask the students, hey, you guys, we're learning something new about art, and it's called expression. Does anybody know what expression is or have an idea of what it could be? Some students might not know at all, and some students may. At 6th grade, this is a 6th grade lesson, I'm sure some would say, maybe it's something for feeling something, and it's exactly right. Expression is feeling something, it's feeling emotion, it's creating something off of those feelings. And one of the most influential artists within the art culture is Edvard Munch, and that's who we're going to learn about, and learn about how he used expression within his own art. I'm sorry if you can't see this, but I'll put it up on the discussion too, so you guys can have a visual of what it would look like. So we go straight into the PowerPoint. So who is Edvard Munch? This is Edvard Munch, and he was an expressionist artist. I can post it. There you go. He was an expression artist. So who is he? Edvard Munch was a prolific yet perpetually troubled artist, preoccupied with the matters of human mortality such as chronic illness, sexual liberation, and religious aspirations. He expressed this oppression through works of intense color, semi-abstractions, and mysterious subject matters. Munch took up the more graphic, symbolist sensibility of the influential Paul Gauguin, and in turn became one of the most controversial and eventually renowned artists among a new generation of continental expressionists. So when did expression begin? And for Edvard Munch, expression developed in the late 19th to 20th century. This moving art direction of expression, feeling and emotion rather than depicting reality and objectivity. The expressionist artist is not concerned with reality, but rather the emotion that it evokes. So the emotion that we might have within ourselves, and putting it onto a canvas. Sorry if you can't see me, that's okay. So I would tell the kids, let's talk about Edvard Munch's life. Why did he become an expressionist, or what impacted him to become one? Edvard Munch grew up in a household periodically beset by life-threatening illnesses, and the premature death of his mother and sister, all of which was explained by Munch's father, a Christian fundamentalist, as an act of divine punishment. So what that means is Edward grew up with feeling or having the thoughts of God was punishing him. God was punishing his family, and that's why his mother and his sister died. And his father, put that into his mind and said, the only reason why they died is because he's punishing us. We did something wrong. And that's what he really thought. This powerful matrix of chance, tragic events, and their fatalistic interpretation left a lifelong impression on the young artist. Feeling that your mother died or your sister died because a higher power killed them for punishing you, that could leave a lifelong impression. And it really gave Edvard Munch emotional feelings, anxiety, and that's what he focused on in many of his paintings. He liked the emotional suffering and human vulnerability. So then we would go into one of his paintings, The Scream. I'm sorry if you can't see it. But I would ask the students, What do you guys feel about this? What kind of emotions do you get when you're looking at this? And I would allow them to discuss with their partners, or we can discuss as a class. And then I would ask them another question. What do you think Edvard Munch was feeling when he painted this? And they would ask, talk to each other, and then I would call in a few people. Maybe Edvard Munch was scared. Something was happening in his life and he was worried. I would ask them, more questions about lines. Are the lines straight? Are there curved lines? Do you think there's a reason for why there's not any straight lines? And it's probably showing some kind of effect of the world is going crazy all around him and he's worried. Or the colors. Why do you think he painted those dark colors? Do you think he was in a bad time, like a bad area in his life, or maybe it looks like has anxiety, or maybe he's sad. Those darker colors can mean he's sad. Then we would compare another one of Edvard Munch's paintings, The Bridge. The Bridge. What do you think Edvard Munch was feeling then when he created The Bridge? Well, it's a little bit more happier. The colors are brighter. There's more, it looks like, a normal life. What kind of lines or shapes does he use compared to the Scream? Well, they might say, the lines are more straight. He has more defined texture with his house, with the girls, with the bridge. And then you would just continue to ask these questions and compare and contrast the two feelings. How does this one make you feel? This one definitely makes me feel happier. I don't feel so, sad or depressed about life. Rather, this one makes me feel like I'm on a vacation and I'm happy and I'm content. So once the presentation is done and once the students kind of get a feel for what expression is, then they would go into the actual project that they're doing. So what you would do is you would introduce, the works and show them what expression is, compare and contrast. The highly structured practice, I would introduce or demonstrate with the class involvement about how feelings can be presented by using lines. So I might put up on the board like a straight line. How does that make you feel? Some students may say it's kind of straightforward. There's no real emotion to it. What about if I make squiggly lines? Well, that might be more of, it's chaotic, it's you might be angry or you might be upset. What if I made curved lines? You might feel a little anxious, or maybe you're content. And then I would ask him, what kind of color would you use if you were happy? And they might say blues or purples, even yellow. And then I might ask them, what kind of colors would you use when you're angry? I'm sure they would say red or black, or, it's the colors that we kind of see in the world and within paintings of, different emotions. And with Edvard Munch, we saw reds and orange with that Scream picture. And then I would show them my own examples of things that I've painted over a course of time, or when I used expression. So the first one, I would probably show them as a painting. I painted this actually a couple months after my grandfather died. And this was a picture near where he is buried. And I did this because it's darker colors, almost like Edvard Munch's darker colors on his Scream. But I was upset, and the darker colors show that I was, in a spot where I was really sad. But in the middle, it's the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, I knew everything was going to be okay. And that's why I put in the lighter colors to kind of contrast, like, yes, I'm sad, but I know there's something there. And I know the sun's going to come up at each and every day, and I'm going to be okay. So that's one kind of emotion. Another kind of emotion I might show them is the painting of my two girls dancing. This was a year after I painted that one, and it's kind of a feeling of happy that I know my life is okay, and it's just a picture of joy. And obviously the two girls are dancing, and you know, when you're dancing, it's happy, and the colors are a little bit more vibrant. I have, you know, brighter colors again within the middle and on the outside. The girls, yes, are a little bit darker, but you know, there's more color to the picture, and it makes it feel like they're happy. So a guided practice, so that was more of like the highly structured of what they're doing, how they would do it. And then the guided practice, this would be the guided practice. And then I would also give the students different paper. They can pick kind of what they want. If they want to paint, if they wanted to use Cray-Pas, they could pick whatever they want. They may also, I will give them magazines too, and I will let them look through and see, you know, what kind of colors or pictures they see and how that makes them feel. The independent activity, of course, is them doing their own painting or their own drawing of expression. They will choose a piece of color construction paper to do it on, or a white piece of paper. The students are only grouped together because they're going to share material. They're not grouped together because they're working on the project together, but they're just grouped together. And independently, they will work on their project and create their paintings or their drawings. I will circulate the room and inspire kids who are having a hard time. I might ask them a few questions like what happened this morning? Did your mom yell at you? Yes, my mom yelled at me. Well, how did that make you feel? Mad. There you go. There's a feeling of mad. You know, paint something that makes you feel mad. Or has anybody had an animal, you know, run away? How does that make you feel? Really sad. Draw a painting of something that's really sad. So I would give them, you know, inspirations of what they could do. The assessment, I will assess the students as they work, and as I walk around the room, I'll be looking for certain kind of lines. So is it straight lines, is it circular lines, is there, you know, jagged lines? And then I would look for color and associate, and I'd ask them, you know, why are you using blue? Well, blue is very calming, and and the ocean makes me feel calm, and they might have a picture of the ocean or something. I might ask the student, you know, why are you using black? Or why are you using red? And I'll ask them and assess them on their response of those colors. I will also have the students at the very end, once they're done, we are going to, or I will allow students to come up and kind of talk about, you know, their paintings. So like how I described about these paintings, you know, they would tell me, you know, the different colors and why they use those colors. And then I would ask them a series of questions and keep notes on that student, their name and the questions I ask, notes of their responses. So if I asked, you know, why did you use red on the background, and the student may say, well, the red kind of is associated with the anger I have for, you know, bullying or something, and it's significant to how I feel with inside. Well, I would jot that down, and I would, you know, assess it. Well, yes, red does associate with, you know, anger. When they are done, I will collect their work and grade it on, you know, the different colors, and I might even ask them, you know, individually during a class period, like, tell me a little bit about your painting, about 2 minutes. 2 minutes of, asking them a few questions, and then kind of graded on top of that about what they say, or what kind of emotions they have for that painting. And then for the closure, I would ask them, what they've learned about expression and what it is, and how it can be used in different forms of art. I will ask posing questions. What was the role of a line and color in creating your picture? Where are some emotions more difficult for you to kind of express? Or do you think feelings influence your picture, and do you think it turned out the way that you wanted it to? And I will check for understanding, at the closure, as we're closing the unit or the lesson, of what they've kind of learned. The independent practice or follow-up, the follow activity will be discussion as a class of what they've learned. I may ask a few students to kind of explain a little bit more in detail of their paintings or their expression art. I will ask students about their own work, and they should give me reasons why they created it and feelings they feel while creating it. The modifications for the English learners, they'll have more time spent with the teacher, so with me as I circulate the room. I will continue to ask the English learner students what they are doing, what kind of emotions they feel, the steps they're going to take to complete the assignment. I will also have visual examples on the board of lines and colors, and emotions of people. I'll even put pictures of people's emotions, so like someone smiling, someone being angry, someone being sad. So I'll have those visuals so they can see, and then when they do their paintings, they'll have those visuals to kind of interpret what they're doing. I can give them visuals to see what kind of emotions I'm talking about as well. So if I'm sad, and let's say the English learner doesn't know how to communicate yet very well, I would show him a picture and say sad, like I'm sad, and then or angry, I'm angry. So I would show the picture and point to myself, like that's my emotion. But yep, that's it, and I hope this lesson was kind of informative for you guys, and hope maybe we can try it sometime. Thank you.